Yeah.
Did you ever think the President of the United States would be celebrating your unemployment?
I mean, that son of a bitch, you know, is really unbelievable.
Mr. Son of a bitch.
I mean,
Mr. Son of a bitch.
His royal.
And that is exactly what happens when Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert step into moments like this. Because they are not just delivering punchlines. They are expressing a sentiment that many people are already thinking, but don't always say out loud. The idea of a president appearing to celebrate unemployment hits differently, especially for viewers who remember the uncertainty, the stress, and the real fear that job losses bring to families across the country. And that is why the laughter in the room feels mixed, part reaction, part discomfort, creating a moment where comedy and reality collide in a way that is hard to ignore.
Let me just say this, Donald Trump's going to have to be very careful during court-ordered lovemaking tonight because Teddy Roosevelt, I don't know, he may left his makeup kit at home because, first of all, he's two totally different colors. His hand's like a marshmallow, his face is a costume.
Kimmel even reflects on his own experience, comparing years of observing Donald Trump to something like long-term study, adding humor but also framing Trump as a figure constantly under public scrutiny, someone whose behavior has been watched, analyzed, and discussed over time. The joke lands because it blends satire with familiarity, something audiences have developed over years of watching similar moments unfold. And that familiarity is exactly what gives late-night television its power, because it doesn't just entertain, it shapes how people interpret what they are seeing in real time. As the segment continues, the tone builds gradually, moving from humor into something more pointed, more direct, and more reflective of the larger conversation happening outside the studio. And that is where these shows become more than just comedy. They become part of the broader media landscape influencing public perception. And as expected, the response from Trump comes quickly and clearly as he turns to social media to fire back at Kimmel, criticizing his performance, questioning his talent, and accusing the show of being biased and unfair. And in doing so, he shifts the focus away from the original criticism and toward the credibility of the person delivering it.
Never be a situation in which the president of our country was celebrating hundreds of Americans losing their jobs. But somebody who took pleasure in that. That, to me, is the absolute opposite of what a leader of this country is supposed to be.
This move is not new. It is a strategy that has been used repeatedly, redirecting attention from the message to the messenger. And it works because it divides the audience. Some people reacting to the original joke while others react to the personal attack. And just like that, the conversation becomes split. Kimmel responds in his own way, maintaining a tone that mixes humor with subtle pushback, reinforcing his position without escalating the tension unnecessarily, while Trump continues to double down, emphasizing his point with direct and often blunt remarks, keeping the spotlight firmly on himself and the conflict.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not.
At the same time, Colbert adds another layer to the exchange, using satire to question both Trump's claims and the broader narrative surrounding them, delivering lines that feel sharp but controlled, allowing the audience to process the contrast between the two styles. This back and forth creates a dynamic that feels familiar but still engaging, because each side approaches the situation differently, one relying on direct confrontation and strong statements, the other relying on timing, structure, and layered humor. Trump's continued criticism of Colbert follows the same pattern, labeling him untalented and questioning his success.
And it hasn't worked really for a long time, and I would say pretty much from the beginning. Colbert has no talent. I mean, I could take anybody here. I could go outside on the beautiful streets and pick up a couple of people that do just as well or better. They get higher ratings than he did. He's got no talent. Fallon has no talent. Kimmel has no talent. They're next. They're going to be going. I hear they're going to be going. I don't know, but I would imagine because they get, Colbert has better ratings than Kimmel or Fallon,
Late-night television, through figures like Kimmel and Colbert, has become a space where entertainment and political commentary intersect, creating moments that resonate beyond the studio, and Trump's responses, rather than shutting down those moments, often amplify them, bringing even more attention to the original statements. This dynamic keeps audiences engaged because it creates an ongoing story